So, welcome everyone. My name is Emily Cabbage. I am the Director of Marketing at Nafa. And today, for our Advisor Ambassador program, kicking off the first session in November is Blake Gillies. And Blake is currently president of Nafa, Louisiana, and he is serving as our Young Advisor team leader from the national level, co-chair. So, Blake, I will kick it over to you to get our program underway.
Thank you, Emily. I appreciate it. Let's see if we can, yeah, there we go. So first of all, thanks for joining. And I know you're a busy person and you probably had a lot of things to do, and you're taking, less than an hour out of your day to learn. So I appreciate you hopping on. So being that this is not a very big group, stop me and ask me any questions you want throughout this, okay? Because if not, I'll kind of just run through it, and then I'll pause if needed. But don't be scared to interrupt me and ask a couple questions. So Emily asked me to present on building your professional network of mentors and industry colleagues, and this is something that in my line of work, right? I'm a disability brokerage manager, so I work with advisors across the country. And for me, having a good foundation of people that I could call and ask questions and bounce things off of is very important. I mean, as you know, sometimes in this industry, you can feel like you're out on an island by yourself, and that's not always the case, especially within NAFA. As you'll see through this, that you can find multiple people who are more than willing to serve as a mentor and to help you succeed. So a little bit about me. I'm married to my wife, Brooke, almost 4 years now. We do have a son named Liam, two dogs, Remy and Huey. I am currently director of the DI Concierge, and we live just outside of New Orleans, Louisiana. So from a NAFA standpoint, I've been a member since 2010. As Emily said, I'm current Louisiana president. I was Greater New Orleans president a couple of years ago. I've been on the board of directors for Louisiana for a couple of years. I'm currently the YAC committee co-chair with Karina Hatfield. And just a kind of a side note, if you want to get involved in NAFA, YAT is the perfect way to do it. It's energized, it's fun, and that is the future of our industry. And then I was lucky enough to win a couple awards back in the day with NAFA, New Orleans, and Louisiana. I was a new member of the year back in 2016. So enough about me. Let's talk about Drew Brees, right? You're probably like, why does this guy have a picture of Drew Brees on the screen? Well, I'm from New Orleans. I told you that. And obviously, Drew Brees was a very big part of our football team until last year. And the reason I wanted to talk about this, I'm trying to give you a correlation or make a correlation of that Drew Brees is one of the best quarterbacks to ever live. That's not a New Orleans fan saying that. That's a fact, in my opinion. That he can't throw the ball to himself, right? He's not blocking the line. He's not the center. He doesn't hike the ball to himself. He doesn't kick the PATs. He doesn't play defense. So what makes him special, right? Is it his physical abilities? Yes. Right? Is it his phenomenal coaching in New Orleans? It probably played a little bit into it. Or is it Drew Brees' incredible work ethic? I think it's all of those things. However, what makes him, we don't need to go over Drew Brees' stats. What makes him incredibly special is that he is able to perform at a level higher than anybody else, and he does so with the help of his team, right? So where am I going with this? Is that Drew Brees would not be where he's at if he did not surround himself with very successful people. And in some instances, you're only as good as your least successful colleague, in my opinion, right? I personally don't mind being the least successful person in my group because I'm always chasing the person who's above me. That's just my mentality. And I think, the more you find yourself surrounded with successful people, the more successful you yourself want to become. So let's kind of take this and put it into our industry and see if we can, maybe I can help you if you don't have a mentor already, maybe I can help you find one. So in my opinion, there's three levels to industry relationships. And that's number one is people who are a mentor for and to you, your peers in the industry, peer-to-peer mentorship. And then also people who you yourself could be a mentor to. And I don't know where you're at in your career right now, but I think that's in some form or fashion, you've probably been involved in 1, 2, and 3 at some point. So my plan here is to kind of go through how I built my industry colleagues and mentors, and then maybe you can take something from that. So how do you find a mentor, right? First of all, you need to join Nafa, and then you will have an endless amount of people who are willing to help you. But if you do not join Nafa, you need to find somebody who is currently in their career where you want to go, right? And then secondly is make the ask. Don't be scared to ask them for help, right? And then I will challenge you, if you ask them for help and they agree, please show up to the meeting. I know that sounds very small, right? But too many times in our career, people don't take a mentor type relationship for granted, and they don't put the effort that they should into it. So I would tell you is if you find somebody who is willing to help you, make the effort and show up. Thirdly, I would follow up with said individual after every meeting. And that's something that is kind of in our practice, right? Every meeting we have with clients or with a broker or an advisor, we follow up with an email summarizing what we did and how we did it. If you don't do that in your practice now, highly suggest you do it, just because it helps kind of cover your butt, and then it gives your clients really a roadmap to what you need to do. And then I would ask for feedback, right? Talk to your mentor, find out what he or she likes about your relationship, what she doesn't like. And then be patient, right? You're not going to, the mentor is not going to solve all your world problems in a day. But if you give them time and you buy into the process, I think you will find at the end of however long it is, you will find yourself a more successful person than when you started. So for me, I'm going to talk about really my mentor relationship, right? These are people that I look up to in the industry. So obviously, if you're seeing a name correlation there, that is my dad, Keith. So I have the pleasure of working with my dad every day. My dad, for me, I didn't have to look very far to find a mentor, obviously, because my dad is here. So for me, being able to ask my dad questions that, you typically wouldn't be able to ask other people is special to me, right? Now, I will say it's not always, sunshine and rainbows when you work with your family. But I will say that our relationship as a father-son has gotten incredibly better, strictly because we're able to talk and work more about things that are work-related and not home-related. So then it really just snowballs effect. And I can tell you that I have learned more about being a successful advisor from him than I've learned from anybody else. Next is Andra Grava. So this is my second example to you of how I built my mentor-mentee relationship. Andra is the owner of the DI Center in Dallas. He's a very involved Nafa Texas member. And Andra works or owns the DI Center, which after my college days, Andra was my first manager in this industry. And one of the things Andra if you know Andra, you'd probably laugh about this, but one of the things he told me my very first day is, I'm a disability brokerage manager. I'm supposed to be a specialist, and I started like a day ago. And so he pretty much just said, "Hey, did you pass your life insurance test?" I'm like, "Yeah." And he said, "Well, you automatically know more than 95% of the people out there, so good luck." So it sounds very small, right? But he made me think that there has to be a sense of confidence when you're talking to people, right? And sometimes that can be very hard to find if you don't have somebody like an Andra that can point you in that direction. So for me, Andra has been instrumental in my career. I worked with Andra and for Andra for 7.5 years. And to this day, I owe a lot of my success to things he taught me and, sales ideas and strategies that he gave me that I still use today. So I don't know why this slide's out of place, but we'll talk about it right now. So this is welcome to live events, man. This is how we do it here. So if you have a pen, I would write this down. 3 books that have been really career changing, in my opinion, is The 12-Week Year, To Sell is Human. Those are both actual books. And then The Full Focus Planner, which you're shaking your head. I think you're familiar with some of these in some form or fashion, but 12-Week Year is a very good way for you to condense your year into 4 quarters and be able to reach your production of a full year in 12 weeks. Full Focus Planner is something I still use every day. If you have not heard of that, I would highly suggest looking it up. It's a planner. It costs like $40 a quarter, something like that. And they send you a planner every quarter, and that planner breaks down your days into daily goals, weekly goals, monthly goals. It's really sweet. I enjoy it. And it helps me make sure that, I'm crossing things off the list every day. And then lastly, To Sell is Human. I read this book, I don't know, a while ago now, but one of the things I really enjoy about it is the author makes the point that really all day, every day, you're selling somebody on something, right? And you may not understand that's what you're doing, but you're typically selling something to somebody throughout the day without even knowing it. So if you have the time, I would highly suggest reading To Sell is Human. But if you really want something that will structure your practice and help you be more efficient, I would look at the 12-Week Year and the Full Focus Planner. So next is some peer-to-peer mentoring. So this would be forming a center of influence group, being a member of a study group, and also Join Nafa, right? If you want to find other people who are going through the same trials and tribulations you are, that Nafa has those people. So for me, one of my really peer-to-peer mentors is one of my good friends, Jason King. Jason is past Louisiana president. And it's a funny story with Jason. I don't want to say he's the reason that I'm as involved in NAFA as I am. But in 2010, I was a member of NAFA New Orleans, and I was new in the business, and I didn't feel I was getting my value for my NAFA membership. And Jason said, "Hey, I appreciate your feedback." He said, "But how about, instead of just telling me that, how about you help me fix it?" And Jason asked me to join the New Orleans board. And I have been involved in NAFA some form or fashion every day since then. So I would tell you that sometimes it just takes a peer pushing you a little bit to make you go outside of your comfort zone to be able to grow. And since then, Jason and I have a very good friendship, and we do a lot of business together, and we owe all of that really to our NAFA relationship, because I probably would not know Jason if it wasn't for NAFA. And any questions? You want me to elaborate on anything, or I'm doing a great job here?
No, it's fine. So I'll probably maybe catch up. So I have a couple of things that maybe I can answer, but I'll maybe go through the deck first with you, and then have a Q&A at the end, if you don't mind.
Yeah, that's fine. No problem. Sweet. So next is, and this is the third point I talked about, is being a mentor to somebody, right? And I think the point I was trying to make earlier is that you may be new in this career. That doesn't mean you can't be a mentor to somebody. It doesn't have to specifically be in our career or our industry. I think just going out and helping people sometimes makes a difference. So if you're going to be a mentor to somebody, be available. And it doesn't have to be something that you put 40 hours a month into, right? This could be a 1 to 2 hour a week deal where you could really help somebody succeed with just a little bit of time and effort on your part. And I also think that don't discount the fact that as being the mentor in the relationship, you still are able to learn things from the people you are helping. And as you can see, so So being a mentor for me, I played college baseball. I love baseball. It's a part of me, and I like to volunteer and I like to coach baseball teams, right? So that is how I, build my mentor mentee relationship is I work with some of these kids, and I've been doing this for, I don't know, 8 years now, 9 years. And two of the kids I coached, work in our agency now. So I think it's important that if you do want to be involved and do as much as you can for the people that you're trying to help, similar to what you would want the mentor to help you with. So why should you be a mentor? Well, for me, maybe you will be lucky enough to be recognized for your hard work, and be recognized by one of the people who got you into this industry, being my dad, and then also Jason King, who made me, or I don't say made me, challenged me to join the Greater New Orleans board and to help change Nafa. And I'm telling you, this is not just speech. I would not be where I'm at today in my career if it was not for Nafa. And I say that all the time, and I mean it. I have gotten so many ideas and so much motivation, different really sales ideas, and then just personal ideas. And I've met very good friends and lifelong friends through this relationship. And Emily's one of those people, right? Emily and I talk a good bit, not so much since the hurricane hit and I've been a little crazy at home, but I have made lifelong friends through my relationships with Nafa. So why would you join Nafa, right? You will be surrounded by successful people, and every one of these people are willing to help you. Nobody in Nafa is going to look at you as a competitor. They're all going to look at you that we're on the same team, and let's try to help as many people as we can, because everybody needs our help. You will create business friendships with people from across the country. Again, I have colleagues now almost in every state, specifically through my involvement with Nafa. I didn't know anybody in Iowa until I met Emily. And so now I got somebody in Iowa that I know and I can call. And then another thing is that you will have an input on the future of our industry. There is no other organization that's doing what Nafa does for our business, right? And they are doing it for everybody, not just the people who pay dues. Nafa is fighting day in and day out from a advocacy standpoint to help us, right? And that's at the state and local and national levels. So do not discount how much work Nafa does behind the scenes for us and our clients. That really is life-changing if you really go back and look at some of the things that Nafa has been able to do for us in our industry. So why join Nafa? Again, you will get to meet some of the best people and brightest people across the country. The picture on the left is with Senator Bill Cassidy. I got the opportunity to go meet Bill Cassidy numerous times in his office, and I got to do that strictly because I'm a Nafa member. Right. The picture on the right is me and some of my New Orleans board members that we made Life Insurance Awareness Month was made a declaration in our parish. We don't have counties. We have parishes in Louisiana. So we got to go to a council meeting and got to stand up in front of everybody, get a plaque. It's things like that I would not be able to do if it wasn't for my involvement within Nafa. And then lastly, that picture in the middle, I think that may be the last time that we went anywhere for Nafa with all the craziness that's happened. But that's most of our Nafa YAC committee from a couple of years ago. As you can tell, we like to have fun. We don't just talk business all the time. We do develop friendships, and we do really have a good time. So I challenge you, if interested, join and see what Nafa could possibly do for you. So that'll kind of stop the presentation part. I'm free to answer any questions you may have.
Thanks, Blake. So just to give like a very brief background, because no one else is here. So I've kind of moved to the US very recently. Have about a 15-year career in banking and financing. Prior to moving here, I kind of co-founded a small business lending fintech platform. We did that in a couple of countries, and I exited that business. So after moving here, I had a few plans, and then so life insurance related products was kind of not my kind of go-to offering prior to coming here, but I did kind of understand the use of it from a planning perspective, as well as other business use cases that are in it. So I kind of set up a new entity, got myself trained with a few agencies, but I still do have some businesses in like outside businesses in my home country. So the independent route was much better for me rather than being a career agent. Yeah, so definitely interested in kind of growing my network of everything, COIs, peers, so on and so forth. And I'm looking forward to joining NIFA. So
Yes, and
Cool.
that's a nice thing about NAPA, and Blake kind of hit on this a little bit, but is that you've got a great community of people who want to see you succeed, and like Blake said, there's not really like a competitive vibe that's out there. It's and you get this like team of people who have been maybe not exactly your situation, but because yours is very unique to you, but who have gone through some of the questions, and some of the things that you've encountered, and we've got like a whole network and then a private online community where you can say, hey, you know what, I'm dealing with this. Has anybody else had this? And NAFA members across the country are willing to pick up the phone and help you out and work with you. So where are you located right now?
I'm based in New York.
And where?
In New York City. In
New York City. Okay. Yeah, I mean, we've got some great powerhouse people in New York City. Are you looking that you're going to go start your own firm, or are you looking to join a firm?
Yes, so I kind of so when I moved here, I was in like a trade finance, like a financing kind of a company. So for about a year, I did work with the agency to kind of get myself licensed and to go through the process and also kind of get a training. But I have already set up my agency as on an independent basis.
Mhm.
So yeah, that's pretty much it. So I'm kind of in the process of transitioning to doing this full time, but took about a year just to understand the industry, make a few connections.
Yeah, we recently had a whole webinar for college students who were looking to get into the industry, and the whole first session was about all the different paths and different ways that you can be involved, and just kind of finding out what your passion is and how you want to, like, what role you see yourself in this industry. So I mean, we've got some great resources available, and I just we've got this is a great opportunity. So we've got the next session that you're signed up for is the 18th, and I have a conflict on that date, so I won't be your host for that date. It will be my boss, Suzanne Kerwin, but our speaker is his name's John, and he's out of California, and he actually has had different careers as well, and he's going to be talking about kind of a non-traditional approach to networking and building your business and things like that, because he actually started in the insurance and financial services industry in December 2019. So you can imagine that was a very interesting time to get into the industry, and how do you build your business when nobody's actually meeting, and things like that. So so I think that'll be a very interesting session for you to participate in as well. And then you also got access to all the on-demand archives and things like that. And so I'd be happy to share some resources and things like that with you. But do you have any other questions for us at
Yeah,
this
okay.
time?
So just like maybe one question is that I've always come from like a business banking and a small business kind of lending kind of a career, and I understand the use case for insurance with business related planning and stuff like that, and that's kind of where I excel on. So the individual areas is what I'm kind of took the last few months to learn about. Like, is there anything kind of that pushed you early on to say, I need to kind of specialize in the disability field over life, or like what kind of, just want to kind of curious because that I find is like a rare breed where like for every 9 insurance agents who are like specializing in the life space, I feel that there's only one for disability, and I feel that it's like an interesting story to understand how they got into the field.
So
Yeah,
Blake, how
so
did
it's
you
funny.
get into that?
Yeah, so that's it's funny. So I would tell you that your intuition is on point, right? There is very few people selling DI, especially specializing in DI. So why I got into it is really because the market for selling DI is really astronomical, right? From just a pure sales volume standpoint, the number of life insurance policies sold versus disability policies is not even close. So if you're looking for a niche market, right, DI is a good way to start. And I think I can give you plenty of ideas on things to do, especially coming from a banking background. There's I don't know, Emily, can I give sales ideas on this thing? I guess, why not, right? So I would look at a lot of business overhead policies on DI, which is a DI for the business, right? Have a business loan repayment provision on it, right? So being that you come from the lending background, right? A lot of times advisors are talking to clients about buying DOE policies strictly to cover those business loans. And then at some point when that loan goes away, they let the policy go away. But in the meantime, right, they have not only the loan coverage, but they have the ability to get monthly benefit on top of that with the actual policy. So, if business owners is the way you want to go, that's a very good way to at least get their attention. But don't discount just the onesie twosie individual disability sales as well, because those people need it too. And I would tell you, don't just focus on high earners. I'm a firm believer that somebody making, $100,000 and less probably needs individual disability more than somebody making $100,000 or more. So don't discount the little people, right? And I don't say that in a bad way. I mean, a lot of people run away from the not high net worth clients, where I think if income protection is your niche market, that is the whole in every financial plan, regardless of how much money you make. So you are going down the right path. And if there's anything I can do for you, I'll be more than happy to help.
Sure, thanks. We'll be in touch. So I did come across there are some specialty related practices. So when they get a loan, there are certain banks would, let's say, for example, if you're a dentist, for particular practices, there are kind of loan provisions where you ask for disability. Other than that, it's never pushed from a banking perspective. And it would be kind of good to understand how clients look at it on the individual side. Thanks.
Yeah, and I would say that similar to the life insurance side, right? Sometimes they make them get term insurance to back a loan on the life insurance side. Same philosophy applies to the income protection piece. Sure. So you are definitely going down the right path. So
fantastic. Well, if you don't have any other questions, we'll wrap this session up. And Blake, thank you for joining us from Memphis today. We appreciate you doing that. And Thailand, welcome to your Nafa family, and hope to see you. Well, I won't be on, but hopefully you're able to join next session on the 18th. And we'll look forward to hearing from you more soon.
Sure. Thanks. Thank you for setting it up. Thanks.
Yes, thank you guys so much.
Emily, can you? Hey, Emily, send me his contact info. I'll reach out to you separately and give you all my contact info. Okay.
Oh, sure. Otherwise, I can just drop it on the text here for.
Oh, sure. Yep.
Wait. I didn't. You broke up on me. I'm sorry. I didn't.
Oh
hear
no. Sorry. I'll just drop it on here. So I'm at the very early stages of my kind of practice, so even the website is not done up. So it's kind of I'm working on the content and stuff. Yeah. But you could reach me on this email.
There you go. Cool. Did you grab it back, Brock, Blake, whatever your name is? Who are you?
Yeah. I got it. I'm copying it and going to put it in my email so I have it.
All right.
Perfect.
So cool. Well, thank you very much, and thanks Emily for having me on. I appreciate it.
No problem. Thank you, Blake, for your insights. Thank you. Bye.